Please.
Tony DeMarco,
He's ill tonight.
Ron Van Kirk,
Here.
Kathy Pucci,
Here.
Mary Belbeer,
Here.
Kevin Tansky,
Here.
Andy Selhertz,
Here.
Katie Gallagher.
Here. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
With liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're having some technical issues up here. The minutes from November 10th, 2014.
Motion to approve. Second.
To approve the minutes of November 10th, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
I'm going to abstain because we didn't get them until today, so I didn't have a chance to read them.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Tonight, council will be voting on the confirmations of appointments for Community Reinvestment Council. 3 members have been, names have been submitted: Ken Grodick, Janice Charo, and Shirley Palumbo. 2 members have been submitted for the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council, and that's Ken Grodick and Janice Charo. Also, council is being asked to vote for the bid approval for City Hall Handicap Ramp Improvement Project. The engineer construction estimate was $78,400, and the city received 4 bids ranging between $49,955 and $76,999. After reviewing the bids, the city engineer recommends that council select Apex Construction and Management, which was the lowest and best overall bid. This is 36.3% under the estimated costs. The annual appropriation ordinance for the 2015 budget is on second reading. The total amount appropriated is $29,366,101. There has been an addition of about $4 million because the city has reached an agreement with the Ohio EPA on the closure of our landfill. And so we've been putting aside money since 1995, and so we're going to transfer this money for this closure at this time. Also, we have interfund transfers and advances for 2015. This is on second reading. An ordinance to authorize a 2% wage increase for 2015 wage reopener for the Northern Ohio Patrolmen Benevolent Association, Dispatchers Unit and Jailers Unit, and Municipal Foremen and Laborers Union. Both unions also agreed to a 0.5% increase in employee health care contributions. The total cost to the city for all bargaining members agreeing to the terms is approximately $200,015.80 before estimated overtime. An agreement with civil and environmental consultants to provide consulting service for 2015 sanitary landfill in the amount not to exceed $25,110. CEC will prepare a 2014 annual operating report and complete the required field and reporting activities associated with the April and October semi-annual groundwater sampling. Also, an agreement with CEC to provide CAP construction engineering services for the sanitary landfill, an amount not to exceed $232,454. As I said, we've reached an agreement with the EPA for the closure of the landfill. As Mayor said, that this monitor will be for about 30 years and cost the city about $100,000 per year. Is that right, Mayor? Okay. After the council meeting tonight, the Public Safety and Environmental Committee will meet to discuss the ongoing problem with the old fire station heat. We will now proceed to our regular council meeting. At this time, we'll have the public session. If anyone in the audience has anything for the good and welfare of the city of Brooklyn, please come forward, state your name, address, including city, and keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, please.
Good evening. I'm Kim Cipriani. I'm the choral and drama director at the Brooklyn High School and Middle School. We've brought along our Cinderella and Prince Christopher to sing one of their numbers from the show. And we want to make sure we invite everyone to please come to our production. It is March 5th, 6th, and 7th at the high school auditorium. 2 shows on Saturday. And we also have a senior citizen viewing, like a preview of our first act on Thursday morning, the 5th. There's a breakfast in the lobby of the board education office starting at 9 o'clock. And I know you can call the board office and talk to them about details about that for any senior citizens that would like to come and join us. We do the first act, and we would love to have as many of you come and support all of us in our program. I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, and I'm going to head over to our CD player.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hugel, and I play Cinderella, and I'm really excited to have all you guys come see our show, so please come. Like she said, the opening night is March 5th at 7 o'clock.
Hi, my name is John Coyne, and I play Prince Christopher.
This is the song 10 minutes ago.
Good evening, David Coor, 4544 Memphis Village South. And I am here tonight with 7 of my Boy Scouts from Boy Scout Troop 319. We are working on Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge this month. And so one of the requirements for these 7 gentlemen is that they observe an active city council meeting. And since it was a snow day today at Brooklyn, nobody has homework, so it's a great night to be here. And I'm sorry that I don't have an act that tops the one previous to mine.
A little something.
Good evening, everyone. Victor Ardito, 7439 Outlook Avenue in Brooklyn. I had 2 things to bring up. One was, I may have missed, it might have already been explained, but new street signs, you said something about the last council meeting. Is that all the street signs being replaced? I've seen poles putting in, and the old ones didn't really look bad to me, but...
No, they're just replacing the signs on Ridge Road where there was a construction.
Okay, what's the newer poles that are getting pounded in on Ridge Road farther north? So it's all of them, even if they're still up and standing, plastic poles? I live by Outlook. That one's got a new pole all the way down to Memphis. There's new poles.
John?
I don't know, I'll have to look into it. I don't-
And the other thing was the trash today, they did that great job. Just the recycling wasn't picked up. Should we leave the containers back out for tomorrow or next week?
Yeah, because of the extreme cold, our one man was down, so we will pick all that up tomorrow.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything for the good and welfare of the City of Brooklyn? Well, thanks again to our students. I don't know if I would have had the guts to do that when I was in high school. So, thanks for coming. We'll move on to reports of committees, commissions, and boards. And first up is Finance Committee, Councilwoman Pucci.
Thank you. Good evening. The Finance Committee met earlier this evening at 6:15. Our standing meeting time is at 6:30. We allowed additional time this evening to accommodate an explanation from the consultant on the closing of our landfill. These meetings are open to the public, and the public is encouraged to attend. We address the following items. We recommend council award the lowest and best bid to Apex Construction for the rebuilding the handicap ramp outside of City Hall. The amount is $49,955, and Ms. Gallagher already mentioned that that is below the estimate. They have a target date to start of May 7th, and the project should take 75 days to complete. Let's see, ordinances 2011, 12, and 13 deal with our reopener to our collective bargaining agreements. This is the Municipal Foreman and Laborers Union, Local 1099, the Dispatchers Unit, and also our jailer. And it has been previously mentioned that it's for a 2% increase and increase of 0.5% in what employees pay for their health care, which brings it up to 10.5%. And we will pass these by emergency measure this evening because we have so many days to approve it. Ordinance 2015-14, we're going to pass by emergency measure this evening. This is to CEC Consultants for services relating to our annual operating report for the landfill. And also ordinance 2015-15, also with CEC, for an amount not to exceed $232,454, and this will get our permanent closing of the landfill, get the ball rolling on that. We did have a brief presentation by our consultant, and they gave us an overview of the process to cap and permanently close the landfill. And there is a contingency built in for both engineering costs and construction costs. And I believe that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Councilman Van Kirk for Public Safety and Environmental Committee.
As Mrs. Gallagher mentioned a second ago, the Public Safety and Environmental Committee will meet immediately following the council meeting. Tonight shouldn't be a lengthy meeting, but we're going to discuss the ongoing heat problem that we have in the old fire department, and we'll talk more about that in the meeting to follow.
Thank you. Next up is Councilman Tansky for the Recreation Board.
Thank you. The Brooklyn Recreation Department is inviting local businesses to participate in the City of Brooklyn's Youth Sports Sponsorship Program. For a small sponsorship fee of $200 per activity or sport, the name of your business will be featured on the youth team and activity shirt. This is a great way to promote your business and support your youth in our community. Sponsorship forms are available at the Brooklyn Recreation Center, 7600 Memphis Avenue. If anyone is interested in becoming a sponsor for any sport activity in our city, please call 216-351-5334. Mail forms and sponsorship fee to Maria McGinty, care of Brooklyn Recreation Center, 7600 Memphis Avenue. Please include the check number. Political advertisements are prohibited, i.e. elect, re-elect, or vote for. The Brooklyn Recreation Department is now registering for the 2015 Youth Soccer Program for boys and girls ages 3 to 8 years of age. The Brooklyn Soccer Club is also taking registration for boys and girls ages 9 to 14 years of age. This is separate from the recreation program. Birth certificate must be presented at registration. In order to receive resident rate, you must show a current Brooklyn Recreation Department identification card. If a player is under the age of 6, the parent must show their Brooklyn Recreation Department identification card. If you are interested in becoming a volunteer coach, applications are available at registration and your child's registration fee will be waived. This is subject to first come, first served basis, and background checks must be approved. Resident rate $55, non-resident rate $60. Registration will be taken till February 28th. Please note, if you are registering for a Brooklyn Recreation Program, ages 3 to 8, checks must be made out to the Brooklyn Recreation Department. If you are registering for the Brooklyn Soccer Club, ages 9 to 14, checks must be made out to the Brooklyn Soccer Club. If you would like further information regarding the program, please call Dan Gentili at 216-406-3287. The Brooklyn Recreation Department Learn to Swim lessons are a great way for kids of all ages to get exercise and have fun. Swimming lessons will calm your child's water fears, teach them life-saving skills, and build confidence. Children can begin learning at their own level 1 at age 3. We also offer parent and tot classes, which allows a parent to learn in the water with their baby as young as 8 months old. We offer swimming lessons at a minimal cost. Our classes are designed to teach children how to enjoy the water safely. They can also teach your child to swim for fun or prepare them for a future in competitive swimming. Our program is run in accordance with the American Red Cross, and all of our teachers are certified water safety instructors. Spring registration has begun. Classes start March 9th and will run until May 6th. The cost are as follows. Residents, Learn to Swim, $50. Swim Team, $75. Non-residents, Learn to Swim, $65. Swim Team, $100. Parma Heights Partnership, Learn to Swim, $57.50. Swim Team, $87.50. For more information on learning to swim, please call the John M. Recreation Center at 216-351-5334. The next Recreation Board meeting will be held Monday, March 16th in the Rec Center Meeting Room at 7 p.m. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up is legislative update, Councilwoman Balbier.
Thank you. The governor is proposing an additional tax of $1 per pack of cigarettes and higher taxes on other tobacco products sold in Ohio. The dollar raised per pack increases the state tax to $2.25 per pack, and his proposal more than doubles the tax on products like small cigars and chewing tobacco. These taxes are expected to cut tobacco use in Ohio by making it too expensive for people to start smoking or to continue to smoke. It is expected to bring in about $990 million over the next 2 years. The governor will use much more funds than before to expand anti-smoking programs. According to the Center for Disease Control, approximately 22% of Cuyahoga County are smokers. With the reduction of smokers, there is expected to be a tremendous savings in health care costs in the state that is now spent on tobacco-related illnesses. Finally, by reducing smoking levels, cigarette tax increases also reduce secondhand smoke exposure, especially among children and pregnant women. Believe it or not, there is almost 50,000 annual secondhand smoking fatalities among non-smokers in the United States. So raise the taxes and reduce the percentage of tobacco users in our society, carrying with it all the economic and health benefits that it entails. We'll just have to see what the legislature does. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Board of Zoning Appeals, Building Commissioner Kulsar.
Thank you. The Board of Zoning Appeals, at its meeting on Thursday, February 19th, approved a request from Edward J. Haddad, Jr., P.E. of Clean Kemp Construction Engineering for a variance to increase a nonconformity principal building setbacks for a 518 square foot addition on the front of car truck packaging building located at 7315 Associate Avenue. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. The Planning Commission will meet Thursday, March 5th at 6 p.m. in the Brooklyn City Hall Conference Room to hear a request from Rough Neon and Lighting Maintenance to install an illuminated wall-mounted sign with channel letters for business identification of Intermodel 1 LLC located at 8215 Clinton Road, permanent parcel 431, 14002. Next up is Public Works Committee and School Board Liaison Andy Selhertz.
Thank you. With Public Works, within the next few months, we're going to try to have a meeting. I know Mr. Verba mentioned with one of the one-armed trash collectors going down with the weather, and it's just starting to age with being used. We're going to try to look into the possibility of getting an additional unit that also might be able, small enough to go into the Brooklyn Acres area, so we can probably use our manpower a little bit more efficiently instead of having 6 people go out there, maybe 1 or 2 people now. So we're going to, it's in a theoretical stage right now. We'll just try to see what we can do with it, and we'll keep the public informed. We'll have a meeting in a couple months. That concludes my report for Public Works. For the school report, congratulations to Damon Jackson on signing his national letter of intent to play football at Ashland University. Congratulations to Brooklyn High School girls bowling team on placing 3rd in GCIBL sectionals and now moving on to a district. Great job on your first year of competitive high school bowling. On Tuesday, February 17th, 2015, the Board of Education held its regular monthly meeting in room 173 at 6 p.m. A musical presentation was introduced by Mr. Sean Sullivan, which consisted of 3 students who were trumpet players. Each of the seniors is going on to college to pursue various degrees and career paths. Andy Hostetler, the high school principal, had a presentation regarding Ohio's options for a high school diploma. It covered the new graduation requirements. The current 10th grade class is the last under the current system. The class of 2018 will be required to take 7 state tests. For more detailed information or in-depth information, you can contact Mrs. Hostetler at the high school or go to education.ohio.gov/options. The treasurer, Mr. Hopkins, expressed concerns about the new proposed state budget and its impact on the school district, with funding by the state potentially being reduced by about 22%, or in dollar terms, $475,000 to $500,000. Mr. Singer announced that the school building project is at 54% completion. At one point, it was about 4 days behind schedule, but they got caught up. The board recognized honor and merit rolls. An overnight field trip was approved by the board. This year's trip is from March 28th through April 9th, and it will consist of a trip to England, Spain, and Paris. The trip is paid for by the students and not funded by the schools. For items discussed at the various meetings, go to the school's website, and then go to a Board of Education tab, and then click on Board Docs. Brooklyn Athletic Boosters this past Saturday night held their night at the races. It was a good event. Upcoming events, as you heard in the beginning by our performers, Cinderella is coming to town March 5th, 6th, and 7th. On Friday night, March 6th, there will be Support Our Schools Levy Spaghetti Dinner from 4 to 7 p.m. in the high school cafeteria. Tickets are available at the board office and at Brookridge. On Wednesday, March 11th at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium will be a music concert with performances by the high school choirs and bands. On either March 13th or 14th, the high school band will be in competition out at Elyria High School. Brookridge Elementary School's Right to Read Week is approaching. They're still looking for some volunteers to read. They need your time. On Thursday, March 12th, your time involvement is approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Please contact Wendy Smith at 216-485-8158. Will your child be 5 by September 30th, 2015? If yes, it's time to register for kindergarten. Registration is ongoing from March through July. Registration packets can be obtained at the Board of Education office located at 9200 Biddulph, or by downloading one of the packets from the school website. Registration is by appointment only. Call 216-485-8112 to set up an appointment. And the next board meeting is Tuesday, March 17th, 2015, in room 173 at the high school at 6 p.m. The public is welcome and encouraged to attend. It is your school system for your children. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We will now move on to reports of council, and this evening we begin with Ron Van Kirk.
Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. First, I want to thank Sarah and John. Thanks for coming up here and singing. There is no way when I was in high school that I wouldn't do it now, right? Much less tonight. But you both had tremendous voices. Good luck on your performance. Also want to welcome Boy Scout Troop 319 if you're still awake back there. All right, we're glad that you guys are here tonight. Thanks for being a part of our meeting. I want to thank Mr. Verba and all of his guys at the service garage again with keeping up with the snow removal on the streets and the driveways and the sidewalks. This has been a brutal winter. I think we say that every year, but I feel like it gets worse every year. But I also want to thank him again for keeping council informed on what's going on. He sends emails out periodically letting us know if they're behind on something, so when we get calls, we can pass along the information. So I appreciate that. And you guys are doing a great job, so keep up the good work. The opportunity this last week to go visit LA Fitness, which is open for business up on Tiedemann Road behind Buffalo Wild Wings there next to Key Bank. It is a beautiful facility. They've got a full basketball court, they've got a pool, a sauna, a hot tub. They provide childcare there for people who want to work out and have children. They've got dozens of machines. Many of them are self-viewing. You can watch 12 different TV stations while you work out to forget the pain that you're in, I guess, while you're doing that. But they gave us a tour of the facility. They were still bringing a lot of equipment, but it's a top-notch facility and it's very affordable. So I would recommend residents take a look at that if that's something that they're interested in. Many of you this week may have seen the news report about City Hall and the police department flooding because of a sewage backup and a broken pipe. I again want to thank our service department for responding quickly to get the mess and getting a company out here and get this stuff cleaned up. We'll be holding a safety meeting. I've already mentioned that following the council meeting to discuss a solution to the heat issue in the old fire station, which hopefully will solve the problem of broken pipes. As far as the sewage backup goes, again, Mr. Verb and his guys are working on repairs to the sump pumps to make sure that this type of stuff doesn't happen again. But you're dealing with an aging facility. And I've mentioned it several times on council floor. We need a new police station. The police station is falling apart. It needs to be addressed. With those thoughts in mind, the first meeting with our architects, Horn and King, will take place this Friday. And we'll begin to discuss a plan of attack on getting a new station built. On the agenda are numerous items, but a few include a time schedule, the current status conditions, documentation of the current police department, and the process that will be followed to get this project completed. Again, I want to thank Chief Melky and Sergeant Knapp for their continued work on this process and for the continued safety of all residents and the employees in our city, of all the business in Brooklyn. This new station is a need and is something that needs to be addressed in the near future. In regards to a couple pieces of legislation on the agenda tonight that's being proposed regarding wage increases for the additional union contracts. As I stated in the previous meeting regarding these wage reopeners, I will not support any across-the-board annualized raises. The city is facing major financial cuts. If we do not cut costs significantly, there will be layoffs in the coming years. Increasing these wages across the board on an annualized basis does not make fiscal sense to me. Also, regarding the budget that is on second reading tonight, I will not vote in favor as it stands. There are items included in this budget that the majority of council has spoken out against. We stated this in the budget process, why we were against these items, yet they still made their way into the budget. It is certainly the mayor's prerogative. This is his budget to put any item that he wants in the budget, but it is council's responsibility to either accept or reject it. Beyond these items, there is also, in my opinion, not enough reductions in budgeted costs for 2015. For whatever reasons, and they could be numerous, but there seems to be a little emphasis on putting forth a real effort to reduce costs citywide. We are going to lose $4 million starting next year. It's as simple as that. When American Greetings closes its doors, well, they're not completely closing the doors. When they pull out their headquarters out to Westlake, we're going to lose $4 million. That's going to start next year. The only alternative that we have to make up this is either to raise taxes, which I will not support, or reduce costs. It is either one or the other. Until we replace the revenue lost by AGs, those are the only two choices that we have, period. 2015 needs to be the year that these reductions are made. I've made this known in council meetings. I also emailed our finance director before this meeting to let him know my decision on this, and hopefully we can make these adjustments, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Kathy Pucci.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Ms. Cipriani and Sarah and John for coming. Thank you for giving us a little preview of the show. And I would encourage residents, if you can make it, to try and get out to one of the performances. They're always wonderful. For such a small community, we really have a lot of very talented students. So thank you for coming here this evening. And also welcome to Mr. Kerr and Boy Scout Troop 319. These are the same scouts that help us clean up an area in our city behind the fire station when we have our Big Creek Watershed Cleanup Day. So thank you, boys, also for that. I, too, would also like to welcome our newest business, LA Fitness. I was one of the council people that had a chance to go for the pre-opening tour, and I'd like to thank Anna Zatch and Chris Kamisic for taking the time to show us around. And as Mr. Van Kirk mentioned, it is really a beautiful facility, and I wish them much success. I would also like to, though, to encourage residents who may not have been in our rec center recently to please check it out. We have added a larger cardiovascular room with more exercise equipment, and we also have some of the more popular classes such as yoga. While I want our local businesses to succeed, I also don't want to see our rec center negatively impacted. We may have exactly what you're looking for a more economical price. Regarding the wage increases, I mentioned this, if it wasn't the last meeting, maybe the meeting before, that I think there was a preference to, instead of giving annualized raises, to try and get a lump sum because your costs then aren't compounded in the future. However, 2% is pretty much what public entities are getting. And like I stated before, we have already gone to conciliation and mediation on several labor contracts. And every time we do that, it costs us money. And while I recognize what Mr. Van Kirk is saying about having to reduce costs, and I agree with that, my decision for this particular issue was, are we going to spend money when we've already been there, done that, and we've lost? And basically, the reason we lose is because even though we're going to lose revenue when American Greetings pulls out, we have a lot of money right now that we're putting away to try and cushion that blow. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what they look at. How much money do you have now? They really don't give consideration as to what might happen in the future, even though we know it's going to happen. I, too, would like to thank our service department, not only for their efforts in the snowstorms, but also during this major sewer and water problem in the police department. You know, they had these going on simultaneously, so they really did a wonderful job. And I, too, appreciate the good communication coming from the service department because it makes our jobs as council people a little bit easier. Last week, the mayor delivered a State of the City address at the Democratic Club, and I'd like to thank him for attending. And last week, I attended a presentation that Mr. Enovich had to convert to electronic payroll and also to pay our vendors electronically instead of writing checks. And I believe that this project is perfect for a local innovation government grant for government efficiency. And along with that grant comes training for some directors for the Lean Sigma 6. And I think that this would be a really good opportunity for our city, and I'd like to see us move forward with applying for that grant. Last Thursday, I attended the annual dinner and forum for the Northeast Ohio City Council Association. The guest speaker was Mr. Jim Rokakis, who is the director of Thriving Communities Institute. It was very interesting. Mr. Rokakis, who is our former treasurer for the county, is a recognized national expert on the foreclosures, and he also was the person that established the land bank, which has been duplicated in a lot of communities across the nation. There's a couple items I'd like to make residents aware of. I think, as most people know, we conducted some focus groups last year to receive feedback from every sector of our community. And I don't think there were too many surprises that came out of the focus groups. So some of us volunteered to try and address some of the issues. One of the initiatives is to develop new signage for the city entrances, and that is in the works right now. In fact, we have another meeting on that tomorrow. And there's another initiative, and that's Beautify Brooklyn, and I'm very excited to share with you some of the details. It's an initiative to encourage residents and businesses to clean and beautify their property. There are going to be 3 phases. The first is Clean Sweep, which will be from April 26th to May 23rd. And basically, this is clean out your house and clean up your yard. We're going to have a hazardous waste collection and computer and electronics recycling The service garage will be open 2 Saturdays, May 2nd and May 16th, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon to accept these materials. We're going to have free document shredding, and Simple Recycling will collect used clothing and small household goods on Saturday, May 2nd, from 9 to 12 in the rec center parking lot. Pitch the pills, dispose of expired or unwanted medications in our secure drug collection box that is located in the lobby of the police station. We will have student volunteers available on Saturday, May 2nd, from 9 to 12 to assist senior citizens who might need a little bit of help in cleaning up their yards. The second phase, Bulbs and Blooms, which will go from May 6th to July 11th, and this is Beautify Your House and Yard. We have collaborated with the Cuyahoga County Public Library Brooklyn branch for a kickoff program. Petite Garden will present plant favorites for 2015 on Wednesday, May 6th at 7 p.m. at the Brooklyn Library. Registration is required either online at cuyahoga-library.org or by calling 216-398-4600. Basically, this period, we hope residents will plant flowers, improve their landscaping and curb appeal. There will be a contest to enter first annual Beautify Brooklyn contest, and this will be for businesses and residents. The third phase, Reap the Rewards. The judging will occur during the week of July 12th, and there will be a reception at the Senior Center held on July 26th to award the prizes and wrap up the Beautify Brooklyn event. I'd like to thank co-chair Debbie Tomusco and Dave Hill, who is a member of the chamber, and he's from Dollar Bank, for working on this committee. There will be a spring newsletter mailed with all this detail in it, along with a packet full of information on various other things going on in the city. I'd also like to encourage residents, if you do use a computer, please go to the city website and sign up for the email alerts on the various things, whether it's the service department or rec center or just the public notices. And finally, I'd like to congratulate our former finance director, Mr. Dennis Kennedy. Last week he was nominated by County Executive Armin Budish to be the next fiscal officer for the county. So I think we'd all agree that our money is going to be in good hands with Mr. Kennedy at the helm. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Mary Belbeer.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate this very handsome young man, John Coyne, and his lovely little Cinderella, Sarah. They did a fabulous job. But I'd also like to thank the parents. Many times, it's the parents behind the children that push, that drive, that pick up, that drop off. So parents, you do a great job. You should be commended also. I'd also like to welcome PAC 319, Mr. Kerr. I remember Mr. Kerr from the St. Thomas More days. He was always so efficient, so bright, so energetic. So I know your PAC is probably having a lot of fun and learning an awful lot. I, too, would also like to welcome LA Fitness to our city. I went on the soft opening for the city that they had for the officials, and it was a dynamic place. When I arrived, I got so excited I thought I was going to sign and join, but I had to say, stop, relax, we have to check this out first. Well, I saw all the knotless equipment coming in, the spinning machines, the exercise, the treadmills, the TVs, the juice bar they're going to have, the little room that they're going to have the baby sitting in. I was ready to sign on the dotted line, but I'd like to welcome them. It's a wonderful addition, and if you get a chance, check it out and just walk through and see it. It's totally dynamic. It's LA, what else can I say? Also, yesterday at the Senior Center, they had a wonderful spaghetti dinner. It was very well attended. The sauce and the meatballs, they were all prepared by the seniors that help out at St. Rocco's, so it was good. It was a great day to spend the afternoon, a cold, wintry afternoon at the Senior Center, eating rigatoni and meatballs and sauce, and thinking about maybe I would join LA Fitness, but who knows, as I was eating the spaghetti. But anyways, it was wonderful. And I really appreciate Ms. Enovich and all that she does at our senior center with the seniors and the programs that go on there. Last Thursday, I also attended the Northeast Ohio City Council Association. And yes, the guest speaker, as Ms. Pucci said, was Mr. Rokakis. He is now the Vice President of the Western Land Conservancy. Part of his job is creating green space in the 15 counties that his organization oversees. He talked about a program that is made available to all cities that is called the Tree Stewardship. Even though Cleveland is known as the Forest City, Cleveland has lost a lot of its tree canopy over the past 20 years. Mr. Rackauckas mentioned that our city, Brooklyn, has also a deficiency in trees. With the Tree Stewardship Program, we would be able to acquire trees at no extra expense to the city, and volunteers will help with the planting. So don't get excited, Mr. Verba. Basically, the program helps to reforest our city. I have known Mr. Rackauckas for many years, and I contacted his office with the hope of starting this tree stewardship for our cities. There's nothing like a lot of trees around it. It just makes you feel really, really good. So I'm hoping that our city can have little extra trees. On February 14th, I had the honor to attend the 90th Anniversary Installation Awards luncheon of the Joint Veterans Council of Cuyahoga County. This is an organization of 20 veteran associations. Each year they recognize and honor a Veteran of the Year. This year they were honoring Reverend Father Joseph Piscura, a retired Army chaplain. But if you know Father Piscura, you know that he is a humble man, and he actually refused to accept the award unless the Veteran Council presented it to honoring all past and current U.S. military chaplains. Leon Bibb was the Master of Ceremonies, and he presented a number of distinguished speakers. It was an honor to talk and shake hands with one of the speakers, Archbishop Timothy Broglio. Since 2007, Archbishop Broglio has been Archbishop of the Military Services of the United States of America. He's also from Cleveland, and he is an Ignatius grad. Another speaker was Reserve Chaplain, 9th Coast Guard District, Lieutenant Commander James D. Eckert. He is the pastor of our Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd, right here next door to us, for St. Elias. He recently returned to Good Shepherd Church after being activated for 18 months of service, including a tour in Afghanistan. He was a dynamic speaker, and I'm sure that our local parishioners who attend Good Shepherd Church here in Brooklyn are so fortunate to have him. After listening to all the speakers, it became apparent how important military chaplains are, because they provide spiritual guidance and comfort, particularly in the war zones. They are certainly instrumental to maintaining high morale and comfort throughout the military services. The entire presentation was so heartwarming. Nothing brings a tear to my eyes more than being in a room full of military men and women who stand so tall and proud, and we owe them so much. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Kevin Tansky.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Sarah and John. I played the drums for a long time, but I've never sang in a room of this sort. You did a great job, and who knows, maybe American Idol is the next step. Keep those notes flowing. Also want to thank PAC 319 for coming to the meeting. Summer Youth Employment Program has begun registration. This program helps 14 to 18-year-olds find summer jobs. Although the City of Brooklyn's minimum age requirement is 16 years old, 14 and 15-year-olds are encouraged to register, as surrounding communities have different minimum age requirements that can benefit those under the age of 16. To register, go to www.youthopportunities.org. Registration closes Friday, May 1st, 2015 at 5 p.m. To participate, you will need your certified birth certificate, photo ID, Social Security card. You may need to meet family income requirements. Only one registration will be accepted for each youth. The number of summer jobs is limited, and many teenagers are registering. So registering for the program does not guarantee that you will be selected. We do not know how many job openings there will be. We are looking we are working with others in the community to have as many job openings as possible. We will email, call, or send you a letter if you have been selected to continue the process and to apply for a position. As a public official, I am a strong supporter of this program, and I urge all teenagers 14 to 18 of age to register. This is a great way for the teenagers in our community to have jobs this summer. If you have any questions, please visit our website at www.youthopportunities.org and check out the FAQ, or visit us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Printed flyers and information regarding the Youth Summer Opportunity Program have been passed along to the school board, President Rick Sininger. This information can also be picked up at the Brooklyn High School for your convenience. Information is also available at City Hall and the Recreation Center. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Andy Selhertz.
Thank you. As everybody else said, thank you to Sarah and John. If I remember right from last year with Annie, John had one of the lead roles in it. It was good. Sarah, I can't remember. I know you weren't in the lead role, but even like this year's production, I've heard there's 120, 200 students. There's people running all over the place and behind the stage. I mean, please go and see it. It's something that you'll enjoy for an afternoon or an evening. And only the other thank you is to Brooklyn Reformed Church. This past Saturday, they had a Coats for Kids event from 2 to 5. When I stopped in, they talked. They mentioned they had about 100, 150 people stop in. It was kind of a repeat from the week before on the Sunday. The Sunday was really a cold day. They only had like 2 or 3 people. So the first attempt, it didn't work. Second attempt, a lot better. So they helped the community around, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Well, at the risk of sounding a little redundant, thank you, Sarah and John, and PAC 319. It's nice to meet the future leaders of our community. I'd like to thank the mayor for his detailed state of the city at the chamber. It was nice to hear a whole bunch of good news about our city, and I hope that good news continues. One of the biggest problems our city and our county and our state has faced over the last decade is the decrease in property values. As some council members have already mentioned, we heard a discussion from Jim Rakakis and his organization, Thriving Communities Institute, and their work to eliminate foreclosed and distressed properties all over our state. As our Brooklyn Building Department has made an effort to identify and address all of these properties, and this needs to be a priority in our city if we want to bring up our home values. As I walk the streets in Brooklyn, many residents have issues with certain foreclosed and unkept properties, but some residents are hesitant to say something. Please don't hesitate to contact our building department or any council member if you have an issue. This remains confidential, and it's important because we can't catch everything. The presence of our neighborhoods impacts us all. And if it happens to be a case where the owner is having financial difficulties, our city will work with them. Again, I attended the spaghetti dinner yesterday hosted by the Senior Center. I'd like to thank all the volunteers. And my daughter is 2 years old. It's like pulling teeth to eat meat for some reason, but for some reason she was munching on those meatballs, so, she liked them, so it was really good. Lastly, I'd like to thank the police department and the service department for all of you've done in the past couple weeks. As you already heard, we've had a bunch of maintenance issues, sanitary line backup, and water problems. And as one of the police sergeants reported to council and this administration, the service department did an exceptional job of responding and taking care of the emergencies as best they could. The police officers and the staff are still working in this area, which is not the best working conditions or working environment, to say the least, but thank you for your patience and understanding. And that concludes my report. Next up is the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. I also would like to thank PAC 319 for showing up. And John and Sarah, all I can say is you have a lot of guts. I have a hard time talking in public, let alone singing, so I give you all the credit in the world. Mrs. Balbier, this Reverend Eckhart, I got a hold of him last year to be at our Memorial Day parade and got called up to active duty. So he's coming in to see me this Wednesday, and hopefully I can talk him into something for this.
He's dynamic.
Last week, the finance director and I attended an efficiency in government seminar in Independence, and one of the speakers was from the ODOT, and this comes up every year at this time, SALT, and he was telling us how the salt, there was only one bidder on salt this year. It was Cargill, because the other bidder, Morton, didn't even bid on the salt because they had sold all their salt during the summer. So we only had one bidder. And he says the salt mines, they're working every day, and what they produce every day is only such a small amount. There's no way they could keep up with the salt. So what you have stockpiled is basically what you have to use for the year. And I know we got a call last week. John had to go to a meeting because we belong to a consortium where we buy it together, and our piles are going down, and we're only going to get a little share of it. We think we'll have enough, but salt is a huge problem, especially with this weather now eating it up. I also, for the third year, we've joined the Heritage Program. And I'm surprised more people in Brooklyn don't use this. If you're, 2/3 of the homes qualify for it. If your home is over 50 years old, you qualify for this Heritage Program. And what it is, they will, if you're gonna add an addition to your house or maybe build a new kitchen or something like that, you call them, they'll send somebody out to help you plan it and set it up at no cost to you. And if you qualify, they'll help set you up with low-interest loans. So I wish more people would use this because we pay for this, and this is the third year we're doing it. But you'll be getting some literature in the mail in the next few weeks explaining it. So I hope more people take advantage of it. And I also want to congratulate Mr. Kennedy, who used to be our finance director, on being chosen to head the finance office for the county. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Move on to director's reports. First up is the Finance Director, Dan Enovich.
Thank you, Council President Gallagher. Year-to-date, the city has taken in $2,845,672.27. In that same period of time, we have spent $2,165,514.89. Our unexpended general fund balance is $10,759,517.05, and our encumbered general fund balance is $9,074,529. Since there's legislation dealing with the landfill tonight, I thought I'd provide some additional information. We have a landfill closure fund, which is separate from our general fund, and it has a balance of $4,485,997.07. As Council President Gallagher stated in a report, the fund was created in January of 1995, and through regular transfers from the general fund, there is now sufficient funds to pay for the closing of the landfill without needing to borrow or take money from our operating funds. It's estimated that the closure for the landfill will be just over $4 million, and as you'll come to hear in subsequent meetings, that should be done by the end of this year. So we have the money set aside through good planning since 1995. We've got almost $4.5 million in a fund ready to use to close the landfill. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Police Chief Scott Melkey.
Thank you, Council President Gallagher. Just to sum up what happened at the police department in the last 2 weeks, on the 11th of February, we had a sanitary sewer back up in the station. Every floor drain, every toilet, and every sink overflowed with raw sewage. We called the service department. Mr. Verba and his men came down. They did all they could. We called in the county sewer district. They came in and snaked the pipes. Unfortunately, that wasn't helping. We ended up closing our jail, transferring all our inmates over to the Bedford Heights jail. Sewer department came back first thing in the morning, kept working, trying to figure out exactly what was going on. We eventually ascertained that it was a sub pump, one of 2 sub pumps that we have that pumps the sewer out. Subsequently, they've made some changes to the system. We're working on 1 pump right now until the other one can get repaired. The cleanup is finally finished. Every rug, there was cupboards, there was drywall that needed to be removed. Eventually, the Board of Health came in. The Cuyahoga County Board of Health gave us our okay and the all clear. We reopened the jail. We're operating on a kind of a bare bones working place right now. The sub pump is on its way. I personally would like to thank Mr. Verba, the Service Director, for leading and coordinating and troubleshooting our problem over the last 2 weeks. Aside from that, on Wednesday the 18th, we had a frozen pipe in the old fire department that busted and flooded our evidence room while we were cleaning up the sewer. It was a trying week. I want to thank all the police department employees and the service department employees for their patience over the last 2 weeks. It's a frustrating environment when you got to step over and through raw sewage to get your job done, and they went over and above for sure. I also want to personally thank Vern Cutridge. He is one of the service department workers that is assigned to the police department, and he went over and above and probably ruined a few pairs of shoes and some other clothing while he was trying to keep track of all this. So my thanks goes out to all those people. And I also want to extend the police department's condolences to the Hutke family. Georgine Hutke passed away. Some of you may know her. She was a school guard for about 15 years in the police department, and she passed away this past Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, first up, we'll have council confirmations on the appointments for the Community Reinvestment Council. We'll take them individually. First up is Ken Grodick.
Move to confirm, or move to appoint Mr. Ken Grodick to the CRA Board,
CRC.
CRC Board.
Second.
To confirm Ken Grodick, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Move to approve Jan Charo to the CRC Board.
Second.
To approve Janice Charo, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. And last up is Shirley Palumbo.
Move to approve Shirley Palumbo to the CRC.
Second.
To approve Shirley Palumbo, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Next, we'll do the confirmation of appointments for the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council. First is Ken Grodick.
Move to appoint Ken Grodick.
Second.
To appoint Ken Grodick, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Move to appoint Mrs. Janice Charo to the Community Reinvestment Housing Council.
Second.
To appoint Janice Charo, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Next, we have up a bid approval for the City Hall Handicap Ramp Improvement Project, with the bid going to Apex Construction and Management Company in the amount of $49,955.
Move to award the bid to the lowest and best bid, Apex Construction and Management Company.
Second.
To approve the bids, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Moving on to legislation, ordinance 2015-5, the annual appropriations to make appropriations for current and other expenditures of the City of Brooklyn, State of Ohio for the period of January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015. This is on second reading. Ordinance 2015-6, authorizing interfund transfers and advances during 2015. This is on second reading. Ordinance 2015-11, authorizing the mayor of the City of Brooklyn, Ohio to authorize wages and health care contributions as part of the contract reopener for 2015 to members of the Municipal Foreman and Laborers Union Local 1099.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
I'd like to have my name removed from that, please.
Just say with the exception.
Second. Do you need a second?
Yes, thank you. So do I say Ron? No, well, yes, but you could say Ron, but just don't say no.
Ron Van Kirk,
No.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
To approve, Ron Van Kirk,
No.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Ordinance 2015-12, authorizing the mayor of the city of Brooklyn, Ohio to authorize wages and health care contributions as part of the contract reopener for 2015 to the members of the Northern Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association Dispatchers Unit.
Introduced by all except Mr. Van Kirk's name to suspend the rules.
Second.
Ron Van Kirk,
No.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
To approve, Ron Van Kirk,
No.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Ordinance 2015-13, authorizing the mayor of the city of Brooklyn, Ohio to authorize wages and health care contributions as part of the contract reopener for 2015 to members of the Ohio Patrolmen Benevolence Association Jailers Unit.
Introduced by all except Mr. Van Kirk's name to suspend the rules.
Second.
Ron Van Kirk,
No.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
To approve, Ron Van Kirk,
No.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Ordinance 2015-14, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Civil and Environmental Consultants Incorporated, CEC, to provide consulting and other services for 2015 for the sanitary landfill in the amount not to exceed $25,100.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
To approve, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Last, ordinance 2015-15, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Civil and Environmental Consultants Incorporated, CEC, to provide cap construction engineering services for 2015 for the sanitary landfill in an amount not to exceed $232,454.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
To approve, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes. Does anyone on council or any director have anything to say or like to add before we adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
To adjourn, Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Where are you having your